Hi, everybody. My name is James Wong, and I'm here with Griffin Rissinger. We are both media and journalism students. Griffin is a journalism track, and I'm on the telecom track. Um, we're here tonight to talk about some election politics, and we're going to hear about what Griffin has to say about what's going on tonight. How you doing tonight, Griffin?
I'm good. How's it going?
Pretty good. So my first question for you is, uh, we're seeing a lot of attempts by some groups to potentially sabotage some polling places and maybe delegitimize some people's votes. Um, just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on voter suppression?
Well, I mean, is it about like intimidation, like the intimidation from like the Trump supporters, or is it like the like voter suppression?
It's more about the voter suppression.
Okay, because voter suppression would be like making policies for like for ID, like having to have like voter ID, especially in the inner city. That's why it like predominantly affects like marginalized communities or minority communities like the Black or Latino community.
Yeah.
As far as like intimidation from like groups intimidating like people not to vote, I wouldn't be scared of them.
Yeah.
I would just vote anyway.
Do you expect a stronger voter turnout this year than in the last election?
I do, because I think there's going to be a lot more young voters that are going to vote, and I think
Hmm.
they're more inclined to vote like Joe Biden or even a third party candidate. But I think also the coronavirus, probably like the mishandling of the coronavirus by Trump, I think is going to hurt him, and I think it's going to move a lot more people who usually don't vote to vote for like Joe Biden.
So obviously going off the issue of coronavirus, this year we saw a lot of issues with race and rioting and obviously protesting within like the athletic community. Um, Out of all these, like, what do you see as the most pressing issue that's facing our country at this time around?
The most pressing issue facing our country, I think, is income inequality. We have people living like who are literally homeless, and then we have like the most billionaires in the world. Like that is the worst income inequality, and that's just a product of the system.
Sure.
Definitely, you brought up the protests, like that. The protests are in like literally about that,
Hmm.
and the protests obviously in this system, it it attacks marginalized communities even more. That's what makes them marginalized. Uh,
Hmm.
so like the protests and stuff are I, any riot I feel like is justified, because these communities have been in a system of oppression for so long without any help whatsoever, and the inequality in income or whatever has gotten greater and greater and greater and greater. Like
Hmm. Obviously, the wage gap is a pretty big issue, and the income inequality is definitely hurting our country a lot. Do you have any predictions for this election?
I think Joe Biden's going to win. I think it's not going to be like a landslide. I think it's going to be pretty close. Uh, I think there's going to be a lot of people that were deterred by the 2016 election, and then deterred by the fact that the Democratic establishment put up another like moderate candidate. So I think a lot of people, and those people don't want to vote for Trump. A lot of people will vote third party. Um, it's going to be close. I think there's going to be a lot more Trump supporters that come out on election day.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think ultimately Biden will win, and I think that as far as the like state races, like the senatorial races and things, I think the Democrats could definitely flip the House or flip the Senate. But
Well, we'll certainly hope so. Thank you for your time tonight, Griffin. I appreciate your answers, and I hope you have a great night.
do as well.
Salud.